I've been working on. I've been kind of watching your some stuff on YouTube, and I've been practicing your Shern and a lot of your drills. And I'm friends with Steve Jurgensen, who's I've done a
Yeah.
lot of work with you. He's helped me a little bit too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay. So then let me start.
okay,
Um, so first, let me go over some general things here.
okay,
So this page shows your caliber speed, and then also the caliber speed pattern here.
okay,
So on the average, your caliber speed is calculated as 100 miles per hour,
okay.
and but the hours is a bit lower than what you typically see in the launch monitors. And
Okay.
so in this graph here, this line is the average of elite man's maximum caliber speed. So elite man includes professional players, college players, and some teaching professionals. So the average caliber speed for the elite male group is 100 about 110 miles per hour, and the yours is a bit lower than that.
And that's for the average senior tour.
No, no, it's including active professional players, young professional players,
Okay,
and then college players and teaching professionals.
okay. And this measurement's lower than TrackMan. I mean, TrackMan, I'm usually 107 maybe on my driver, uh,
Um,
and
so
on. Go ahead.
so this one, the way we calculate this, it should be maybe a 2 or 3 miles per hour lower than
Okay.
TrackMan reading.
Right.
So
Should
in your case, probably when you were hitting the balls, you didn't do your maximum effort.
no, I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
But generally, so it'll show how you develop the caliber speed.
Okay.
And also another thing we can see here is that overall swing time you're using.
Right.
So this one shows the beginning of the backswing, and then time zero, this is the impact.
Mhm.
So overall, you are using a slight less than 900 milliseconds, for the swing from the beginning of backswing to impact.
Okay.
So this is actually good. Um, I sort of recommend the faster backswing
Right.
instead of going slow in the backswing.
Yeah, I actually had somebody try to teach me to slow down my backswing.
Mhm. So actually, faster backswing has many benefits.
Yes.
And the only thing is that as long as you don't rush into downswing. So while the motion is fast in the backswing, but then during the transition phase, you should have enough time for the transition. But in your case, you have a relatively long transition phase here. So this five, this point is can you see the my cursor here?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, this is when the pelvis rotation is completed. So this is the pelvis transition point, and then six here is top of backswing. And between 5 and 6, you have good separation. That means that you have reasonably mature transition here.
So that means my pelvis stops at say 300, and then at 200 the club stops
Yes, yes,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you have about 100 millisecond transition phase, which is quite good.
Okay.
But this is because your backswing is relatively fast.
Okay.
And then, as you can see here, your cleaver speed is rapidly increasing and reaching the peak value. Although still, this is a bit short of the men's average, but so we need to talk about how to increase the caliber speed.
Yes.
But for the moment, let's keep it that way.
Okay.
And then this is the top view, and this large rectangle, this is the swing plane. So the swing plane is calculated from the caliper trajectory. And so the swing plane is hitting the ground along this line here. So this line shows the direction of the swing plane.
Okay.
And then this line is the target direction. So
Which
as
line?
you
The line to the left of it? Okay, the square. Okay.
so this is the target
I got
line, and then your swing plane is slightly uh into out here.
yeah, it's the driver needs to be, right?
Yeah. So it's about 4 point on the average about 4.2 degrees. So which is not, not too much. So this is reasonable.
Right. I'm up 3 degrees, so I want to be if I'm out four, I'm really only out one, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And then now this smaller rectangle here shows the hand motion plane. And then the hand motion plane is more or less aligned toward the target here.
Okay.
So this is also reasonable. So in terms of overall alignment of the clear motion and then hand motion, this is reasonably directed.
Is the black the hand motion is the black the backswing and the green the downswing?
No, the green is the actual hand pad.
Oh,
Black is the pad projected to the plane calculated.
that would be the neutral. That would be kind of what I'm shooting for. The black is neutral.
No. This is just the actually black line shows the hand motion plane,
Okay, right.
and then the green is the actual hand pad. So we see a little bit of deviation because your hands are not forming a perfect plane. So there's a little bit of a deviation from the plane.
Oh, really? It should be. I thought that looked good. So that's a lot of deviation right there.
No, not really. It depends on which phase we're using, but currently this is from the point where the lead arm is parallel to the ground
Okay.
to when the club is parallel to the ground after impact.
Okay.
But if you reduce this phase from the arm parallel to maybe when you completely lose the wrist cocking, then it'll probably give you better fit to the plane. So you don't have to worry about these deviations for the moment. Just
Okay.
if you look at
All
this
right.
plane here, this
Okay.
shows the direction of the plane, which is fairly well aligned toward the target here.
Okay.
So overall, because you tend to hit up, so the string plane is slightly outward, but
Yes.
your hand motion plane is fairly well aligned toward the target here.
Okay.
And then the next one is when we align everything along the swing plane here.
Okay.
So this straight line here, this is the swing plane.
Okay.
It's calculated from the club trajectory from shaft parallel to shaft parallel. So this is swing plane, and then if we look at the club path, initially it goes slightly below the swing plane, but eventually it goes above, and then it has this looping motion here. And then now you are doing the shallowing here. So, and also here in this graph here, the red line shows the motion of the hands relative to the swing plane. So, and then one in this case is the end of pelvis rotation. So this is the pelvis transition point. Two is the top of backswing here. So this is where your hands are at the top of backswing. And this shows how much the hands deviate from the swing plane here. And then the green line shows the shallowing motion of the club at the wrist here. So from the pelvis transition point to a top of backswing, you see this is dropping here. That means you are dropping the club head relative to the hands. So this gives actually good shallowing motion here. So about here, let's say your hands are staying close to the swing plane, but the club head is staying, away from the swing plane here. But from this point on to the top of backswing, your hands are going away from the swing plane, but you are dropping the club head toward the swing plane. So that's why you have this shallowing motion here. which is also quite good. So in general, this is typically what I promote, but in the backswing, the club head moves along the swing plane here and eventually goes above the swing plane and make nice looping motion here. And start the shallowing before you reach the top here. So early start of shallowing and then shallowing through the top of backswing here. And with this on the way down, you will be able to bring the club close to the swing plane and then have this clean planar motion here for most of the downswing here. And then in the follow through, the club head follows the swing plane and then eventually goes above the swing plane. So in general, your club head motion relative to swing plane is quite nice here. And also the slope of your swing plane, which is on the average about 46.8 degrees. This is pretty much the average value we expect from your height. Your height was about 177 centimeters, so a bit less than 6 feet. For that, this slope of about close to 47 degrees, this is really good. So your swing plane, the slope of the swing plane is reasonable. And the way you move your club head along the swing plane and then above, and then bring it down to the swing plane, this is also quite nice. So I see many positive, aspects in your swing. Now, the hand motion plane, this is the plane formed by the hands. It shows the slope of 57.0 degrees here. So this is about 10 degrees steeper than the swing plane. This is also fairly good. On the average, we see about 9 to 10 degree difference between the hand motion plane slope and the swing plane slope. So again, you are hitting pretty much the average value here. And then in this one here, what we see is that the red line here, let me change something here. The red line here shows the motion of the center of mass. And so center of mass of the whole body here. So it gives a good idea about how you move your body in both the horizontal direction and also vertical direction. And then, so for the moment here, what we see here is, so initially your center of mass is located here. And then as the backswing starts, the center of mass moves in the away direction, away from the target, going this way here. And then it goes slightly up here. So this is when you have the center of mass at the high point here. After that, the center of mass will go down diagonally here and then going up here. But now, what I see in this pattern is that so you are lacking vertical interaction with the ground. So mostly what we see here is the horizontal motion of this red line here. And eventually you are raising this this is impact here, so to this position. But what I want to see is that the center of mass moves away and going a bit higher here. And then also it should show a cool downward motion and then upward motion like this. So the center of mass of the body should move in the vertical direction a lot more than this. So, basically this means you're not interacting with the ground that actively. And then by improving the way you interact with the ground, you can also increase your club speed quite a bit here. So you will see, some of these things related to this aspect later. But what I want to emphasize here is that you need to have a more active interaction with the ground in the vertical direction here. So this is what I see. And then judging from your stance here and your knee position here, So the right leg is not that active here. So during the backswing, you have to use the right leg well, and then push the ground down, and then laterally out. So with that, you should have a good amount of force acting on the trail side here. And particularly when you push the ground good, let me change the view here.
Would you like me to save my questions for after
No,
your
you can stop me anytime. Yeah. So
Okay.
go
Well, I was
ahead.
kind of, I'm pretty familiar with everything that you're saying, I've realized, and I'm working on that. This is actually a big improvement over where I started from.
Mhm.
But it's hard for me to stay balanced when the further up I move that right side, the further I push up, I tend to kind of get a little bit lost on my back.
Mm.
So, and I'm working on it, but I also had like an L4 L5 fusion a little over a year ago. I don't know how much that affects things. It's actually helped me move more laterally. I used to not be able to move laterally. So I
Yeah.
used to not move laterally, and I used to not move up at all. And so
Mm.
now I move laterally a little bit and maybe slightly up. But
Yeah.
when I try to do it, I can do it more, but uh, you know, I guess I'm not doing a very good job of it, or I'm not moving the quality of my movement, or else physically, limited, or a little of both.
Yeah. So if we look at the shape of the swing, it's quite nice, but you need the more dynamics. So
And,
but
and the more
particularly,
dynamics, so is that just going to affect the speeds? Let's say, I mean, I have a lot of speed right now. Like say, pretty much more than just about anybody my age. Um, so I mean, I hit the ball maybe over 260 yards in the air.
mm.
I'm 60 years old. Um, I definitely want to work it. I'm just not sure. I guess my question is how important? So I know it's better for speed, but how important is it for like functional movement as far as hitting the ball straighter?
So what happens is when you when you try to generate a lot of speed, um, if you don't use the lower body that well, then that means you are relying on the upper body.
Mm-hmm.
Then the swing becomes more difficult because you have to use the smaller muscles to generate the speed,
Right.
to maintain the speed.
Right.
But we have rockets and missiles in the legs here, a lot
Yeah.
bigger muscles. And then
Yeah.
when you use these muscles better, then the swing actually has to be easier because you're using the leg actions to promote a good upper body turn here. So you don't have to use the upper body muscles a lot. And then, so when the lower body basically takes care of the speed generation or maintenance of the speed, then your upper body mainly focus on the direction control. So instead of the upper body does both. So generally, when you use bigger muscles, when you are able to use bigger muscles, then swing becomes easier because the big muscles will take care of the big job, and the smaller muscles will just take care of smaller job. So and so basically, what I see here is that you are lacking the vertical interaction with the ground. So as a result, what happens
Okay.
is so in this graph here, so this is the frontal plane motion here, and then these arrows are the ground direction forces.
Okay.
So the forces acting on your feet. The middle one is the sum of those two here. And then, so this middle graph here, the red line is the combined force. The blue line shows the force acting on the trail side. The green is the force acting on the lead side here. And so during the backswing, initially, when you push the ground with the trail side well here, the center pressure shifts to the trail side. And then this force will show just a lean toward the target here. And then in this this phase here, when you have a better interaction with the ground, then what happens is this force decreases. So here, currently, this is this point here. This is slide after end of pelvis rotation, and this is the top of action here. But at this point, let's see here. If you look at the red line, this is the combined force here. Then it shows that this minimum value here, the smallest value. This phase is called the unweighting. Okay, so what happens is the unit here is a body weight here. So essentially, your ground reaction force starts at the one body weight. And then during the backswing, when you have good push with the trail side, it goes above the body weight. And then after that, it goes below the body weight. So this phase is called active push, and then this phase is called the unweighting. So during the swing, unless you jump from the ground, so as long as your feet stays on the ground, then the average vertical ground reaction force should be equal to your body weight. Then when we have active interaction, then what happens is if you have a good push here, more active push, so that if this force goes up, then you have to go down more. So you must have more unweighting here. When you have a good unweighting, then you will be able to push hard here. But as far as your interaction with the ground is concerned, so this is the maximum force you generate here. This is way below man's average here. Again, this is a normalized to body weight. So this is already eliminating the effect of the body size. So this normalized ground reaction force shows about half of the elite man's average. So you are not generating that much force here because you don't have good unweighting here before that. And then the reason why you don't have a lot of unweighting here is because you don't have push here. So overall, what happens is you have a weak vertical push here. Because of that, you have a weak unweighting here. And because this is weak unweighting, you cannot push the ground that hard here.
Yes.
So basically, in the swing, what we have is, so this is when we push the ground hard with the trail side here. This is when we push the ground hard with the lead side. So we have a stepping-like push. So during the backswing, we use the trail leg, and in the downswing, we use the lead leg by taking turns. Between those pushes, we automatically have a good unweighting here. So all you need to do in terms of vertical interaction with ground is having stepping-like action. So in the backswing, you try to push the ground good with the trail side here. And then in the downswing, you should be able to push the ground well in the with the lead side. Then in between those, we have good unweighting. So a good push and then good unweighting and then followed by, major push here. But because in general, you don't want to interact with the ground much in the vertical direction. That's why you don't have much push here or much unweighting here. Then because of this, you don't have much push here. So
Right.
if you look at your ground reaction force arrows, these are generally all pretty much vertical here instead of having more inward force here. So throughout the swing, you are sliding the center of mass toward the target and then swinging through, but you don't have a good up and down motion here. So you actually have to use the knee flexion and extension more actively. So you have to let your body drop more as you connect from the backswing to downswing, drop your body more, and then from there you can push the ground well and then bring the center mass up here. So when when you have better interaction with the ground, then the swing becomes easier because most of the force is developed by the legs, big muscles. So this is basically shows the lack of interaction in the vertical direction. This is really weak. This is also really weak.
I see it.
Yeah. And then so here, at this point here, you have most of the force acting on the trail side, and then the lead side is unloaded quite a bit. So this is good. However, this means you are just redistributing the forces, but you don't have net increase. So I want to see more force here. So the net should be more than this. So when you
Yeah.
have a good push during the backswing using the trail leg, then automatically you'll have good unrating, and then also in the downswing you'll be able to push the ground well with the lead leg here.
Right. I'm just leaning from one side to the other, more or less. I'm not really
Yeah,
pushing.
yeah. So you're basically sort of sliding.
Yeah, just
Um,
leaning one way, then leaning the other.
mm,
Right.
yep. So if you change the way you interact with the ground, so make it a bit more active, then
Yeah.
you will see a lot more dynamic swing motion. And
Hmm.
particularly, it's mainly coming from the big leg muscles here. So
Yeah.
actually, you should feel, feel it a lot easier. And then, so let's go back to the this here. This is showing the pelvis motion. Um, and then the red line shows the rotation. So in this bottom graph here, the red line shows the rotation of the pelvis. So you are rotating the pelvis to the right here, and then it completes here, and then starts rotating left here. So this is the pelvis transition point, or the end of pelvis rotation. One thing here, about let's go back to the initial image here. And if you look at this here, so about here, you have two numbers overlapped here, 4 and 3 overlapped. In the backswing, 3 means when the lead arm becomes parallel to the ground in the backswing. 4 means the club aligns vertically in the frontal view. And essentially, in your case, 4 occurs slightly earlier than 3, but these are almost overlapped. That means you have a tendency of starting the backswing with the wrist. So you are introducing wrist cock a bit early. But judging from the length of the transition phase and everything, I don't think this is a major issue. But I forgot to mention this. And let's go to the pelvis motion again.
So I'm
So this,
hinging my wrist. I'm hinging my wrist a little earlier than
yes, yes.
what? Okay.
So what happens is if we go to the frontal view here, so this is when the lead arm becomes parallel to the ground in the backswing.
Yeah.
And generally about here, the club goes more this way here.
Okay.
And then if you go a bit more, then the club becomes vertical while the arms are going
Yeah.
this way here. So
Gotcha.
in your case, you're starting the wrist cock a bit earlier in the backswing.
And what do the wrists usually get to, and as far as the angle, they go 100, 110 degrees or 90. What are the wrist angles in relation to the forearm?
The wrist cock angle on the average is, if I remember correctly, about 120 degrees.
120.
Yeah.
Left arm bend. There's probably a little left arm bend at the elbow. Add maybe another a little bit more.
Yeah, usually left arm it shows a bit bending.
Uh
So,
huh.
it's not a good idea to completely, extending the elbow at the top of
Right.
backswing. So the posture should be, comfortable.
Is that appropriate bend right there? Would you say?
This is reasonable, but when you go up here, yeah, this is okay. This is okay. And then in the frontal view, your right elbow will appear a bit lower than left. This is a good position here.
Okay.
Now, but the thing is that when you tend to use a wrist a bit early, then you downplay the body motion. So you tend to turn less because you want to generate good wrist motion here. And then for that, you don't have to turn the body that much. So if you look at this pelvis motion here, this is elite man's average, and then you are not reaching that average value. So you have a bit less pelvis rotation during the backswing. It's partially because you are promoting the wrist cock here.
Okay.
So using an early wrist motion. And then at impact, you turn the pelvis now toward the target about this much here. So these are fairly well balanced. So you don't have a bias either in the backward direction or in the downward direction. So these are reasonably balanced, but the only thing is that the range is a bit smaller than typical. And then this is the lateral tilt. So when the right hip and left hip shows a difference in the height, then the pelvis shows a lateral tilt. And the lateral tilt pattern is pretty good here. So you have continuous lateral tilt here, and then change of direction, and then at impact. So the left hip is higher than the right hip at impact, so which is good. But this pattern is also pretty good. Now, the only thing is this red line in the top view here. The red line shows the forward backward motion of the pelvis. So the red line goes negative here from here to here. That means you are moving the pelvis backward at the beginning of the backswing, moving backward and slightly forward and then backward more and then going forward here. But actually, um, the pelvis has to go forward initially and then going backward here and then forward here. So your pelvis has to stay actually more in front of your initial position here. But you tend to bring your pelvis backward. So this is what I see here.
What direction is backward? Behind me, behind where
No,
I'm facing, or
yeah,
to
yeah,
the
yeah,
right
yeah,
of where I'm
yeah,
facing?
yeah. So when you initially, assume the setup position,
Yeah.
so this is forward and then backward means behind your body.
Okay. So initially you want to go backwards,
Initially, you need to go forward.
forward.
Yeah, when you turn your pelvis, when you turn the pelvis, the left hip is moving forward more than the right hip moving backward. So overall, should have a net forward motion.
Okay.
But in your case, the pelvis is going backward here, and a slight forward motion and then more backward motion here. So what that means is that your right hip is traveling backward more than the left hip moving forward. So this means, so when you start the backswing, so from here, when you start from the initial position, when you start the backswing, the right hip tends to go backward more than the left hip coming forward. Or in the swing plane view here. So this is the hip position here. In the backswing, so the left hip is moving forward and the right hip is moving backward, but right hip is moving backward more than the left hip moving forward. So overall, the pelvic center of mass is moving backward.
I would have thought it was the other way around. Okay. That's much easier to do the other.
Yes, usually
Yeah.
when the right leg supports your body well, then the right hip moves less in the backward direction, but your left hip moves forward more. Because of that, during the backswing, the pelvis center of mass tends to move forward, but in your case, you have a tendency of moving it backward here.
Yeah.
So because the pelvis is moving backward, this green line at the bottom here, this green line shows forward backward tilt of the pelvis. And then it shows a lot of tilting here. So this position here, so at this position, the pelvis forward backward tilt crosses this axis here, then going here. That means you have a more anteriorly tilted pelvis alignment compared to your initial position here. But this is because your pelvis is moving backward, so it's easier to generate the forward tilt. So this shows the tendency of pelvis collapsing to a certain extent. In other words, you're not pushing the ground that well and then supporting your left side here. So this is related to a relatively weak lead leg action. Okay, so when you tend to use the legs well in the backswing and the downswing. So in the backswing, you use the trail leg well. And then when you support the body well with the trail leg, then the right hip moves less and the left hip moves forward more. So the pelvis moves forward. And also in the downswing, when you have a good lead leg action here, so it's moving the lead hip less, and then the trail hip moves more. So you will have this red line on the positive side here. And also, this will actually cause the pelvis to tilt slightly backward compared to the initial position because your lead leg hip muscles are really active. But in your case, because you are not using the lead leg that much here, so that's why it shows more anteriorly tilted, forward tilted position here. But this is coming from lack of your, leg push in both the backswing and downswing. But again, by using more stepping like action, the leg
Yeah.
actions, you can change this right away. So this is not a not a
Yeah.
serious problem. It just shows shows that you need to have more active interaction with the ground by using the legs.
Okay. And we're gonna have time. I've got my golf net and everything set up here. And
What time are you starting?
what's that?
What time are you starting? The
I'm saying you're gonna have time to work with me on this today to show me how to do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it'll take at most maybe about an hour at most.
Okay. I just want to make sure that we got the time to
Yeah.
we don't go too far on explanation and not to actually show me how to do it. But so
So then go to the X factor here. This shows the separation between shoulders and hips. These are fairly the patterns are fairly good. So you are increasing the X factor all the way to top of backswing here, and then it quickly decreases. So in terms of the way you are separating the shoulders and hips, this should be reasonable. Then now this is the kinematic sequence.
and you want a quick separation on the downs. You want to unwind it pretty. You want to the separation wants to unwind pretty fast in the downswing.
Yep. So if you look at this, this is endopelvic rotation. This is top of backswing. So
Uh-huh.
you have this transition phase here. And from top of action to this early downswing arm base, where the lead arm becomes parallel to the ground. So the time duration this between these two, these are quite similar. This is actually a good pattern. So you do have reasonably active upper body motion here. So you have a continuous separation all the way, and then you are going in the opposite direction. And when this further increases a lot, that means that you have a poor backswing actually. But you reach the peak value pretty much around the top of backswing, and it starts decreasing. So this is actually a good pattern here. So you don't have to worry about this. In general, what you need to more focus on is how to use the ground more actively.
Right.
Your body motions are fairly good in general. Now, this is the kinematic sequence. It shows the angular velocity of the body parts. So the red line is the pelvis, and then green is thorax. Shoulder line is so it's green, blue is the shoulder line, and then gray is the arms, and then this one is the club here. So among the sequences, the most important one is the transition sequence here. What's happening here? And uh, the pelvis transitions first, and then we have a thorax, and then shoulder line, and then arms and club. Although we see the tendency of a clustered transition of the shoulders and the arms here, but in general, the transition phase is fairly long. And you do have this sequential transition here. So this is also reasonably good here. And the only thing is this one here. This pink line here. Pink line shows the wrist motion. And then when the wrist angular velocity is negative, that means a cocking. When it is positive, it's uncocking. So we have a transition from cocking to uncocking here. So this is where the transition happens. So let's go to that point. So about here, right after top of backswing, so as soon as you start the downswing, then you are going from cocking to uncocking here. And then this is called the early release. So you have a tendency of early release. And it's beneficial to have a delayed release about here. So that means your uncocking starts about here, close to 7 here, or when the lead arm is paired to the ground in the frontal view. So you have a tendency of letting the club go a bit early. So you need to, judging from the transition sequence here, okay, your shoulders and arms are not well separated. So we see a clustered transition here. So you need to use the mobility allowed in the shoulder girdles, and you need to separate the transition of the shoulders and arms a little bit here. So you need to separate this more. So in the backswing, if you have a feel of throwing the club in the backswing, then the momentum of the club will bring the club a bit more. And then from there, when you try to change the direction, you will have a delayed release of the wrist. Okay, so it was
And my arm as well too. So is my arm supposed to kind of fall across my chest? So when I start turning towards the target, my arm should have a little bit of should hang back a little bit.
yes, yes, yes. So for that, the best strategy is using the end of the backswing,
Uh-huh.
where the upper part is rotating in the backward direction,
Mm-hmm.
using that momentum just to create a bit more backswing motion, and while your body is turning in the downswing direction, then you'll be able to separate these a bit more, and then also you'll be able to delay the onset of uncocking. So when you delay the onset of uncocking here, then the angular velocity of the wrist will increase, and then the club angular velocity will also increase here. So, you can generate a bit more wrist motion at this point. So, when you have early wrist motion in the backswing, but then on the way down, because you are starting the uncocking relatively early, so you are losing that effect of early wrist motion.
Is my overcocking the wrist part of that? I mean, is that my
So in your case, you can increase since this is driver, so you can increase the backswing size a bit more. So your backswing goes about this much here, but you can actually pass the horizontal line here or let it go slightly more. So instead of holding it here, let the club head go a bit more here. And then with that, if you come down, as you start turning in the downward direction, the club will stay close to your body. And with that, you can delay the wrist uncocking.
what
So,
if my body does? What if I'm 60 years old and my body doesn't want to go further back?
um, you're still young. You know,
Yeah.
yeah,
I had back fusion surgery. I have nerve pain in my legs.
yeah. So your fusion surgery in the spine will affect the range of motion allowed in the spine reasonably.
Yeah.
But as you can see here, your shoulders showing about 90-degree turn here. This is enough actually. So the only thing is instead of holding it here, so kind of resisting to the club motion, you just by using the momentum of the club in the backswing, when you have a bit faster motion, have the sense of throwing the club in the backswing, then because of the momentum, the club head will travel a bit more.
Will my
Then
arms travel more? Will my arms kind of compress across my chest?
so your arms, I don't think you need to move your arms a bit more. But so either you relax your wrist a bit more. So currently, because I didn't see your swing yeah, here. So do you at the end of the backswing, do you keep your wrist relatively rigid, or do you let the club go a bit more?
Um, I don't know. Not. I mean, I don't. It's
Yeah.
not real. I'm not real rigid. No, I wouldn't
Mm,
say I'm not real rigid, but I don't think I don't feel the club getting loose at the top or anything.
mm. So just to use the momentum of the club, since your swing is a free fast in the backswing. But if you let the club head go a bit more, okay, then I think you will be able to easily reach the horizontal alignment, or even you can go a bit slightly more. So in the backswing, when you practice, as you swing back and forth continuously, and then let the club head go all the way instead of just holding it at the top here.
Okay.
That alone will give you benefit in terms of slightly more delayed onset of the wrist cock.
Hmm.
And then also you will be able to allow the relative motion between the arms and the shoulders here.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I see in the kinematic sequence. You have a tendency of early release. When you have early release, particularly in this shape here, there are different ways of doing the early release, but the one pattern is you have early start of uncocking, but then you can introduce a recocking, and then the line goes down here and then goes up again. So when you use that kind of pattern, then you can delay this severely, and then this can go a lot higher. This goes higher here. But here you just have early reach the cog, and then from there you're just letting it go. So you have early release. So if you can increase the dynamics toward the end of the backswing a bit more by using the momentum of the club, let it go, and then change the direction, then you will be able to improve that aspect as well. And then you can separate these a bit more. So, but then in order to do that, in order to have the more action toward the end of the backswing, you have to use the right leg really well.
Okay.
Because when you push the ground with your right leg by extending the knee and then push the ground, then the right hip will move up. And with that, you are promoting the body turn with it here. So in that case, you can have a more active, motion in toward the end of the backswing here. So that's probably if you I don't know whether you'll be able to come back at some point just for reprogramming, but
Sure.
um, that's the component you need to work on. So have more active action toward the end of the backswing by using continuous push using the trail leg. With that, you will be able to have a good mature backswing. With that, the club can go a bit more. And from there on the way down, when you start the downswing with the body more, then you will be able to delay the wrist action in the downswing. So you can delay the onset of uncocking
Okay.
with that. So
I
again,
mean,
it
I
all
can delay.
comes.
It's easy. I can delay it as much. I mean, it's just by thinking about it. Let it. I can delay it as much as I want.
Yeah. And then as you swing back and
Yeah.
forth, try to
It's
feel the motion of the club head,
yeah.
and then let the club head go enough, and then change the direction and throw. Let it go enough, and then throw the club.
Yes, that's easy.
Yeah. So but other than that, the timing of these peak angular velocity in downswing, these are early enough. This is good. So I wouldn't worry about this. And so really, what I see in the kinematic sequence is a little bit of a clustered transition here in the early onset of wrist uncocking. And then, so then in the end, it comes down to your interaction with the ground. So in general, as I run this through here, you will see that the force arrow generally stays quite upright. Although it shows a little bit of inclination, but generally it stays quite upright. So it's because you don't have a lot of interaction with the ground in the horizontal direction and also in the vertical direction. So here you have, this is when you have a maximum push with the trail side here. Then the net push should be a bit more than the body weight. So this has to go up more.
Right.
And then with that, you have a good unweighting here. So the force has to go down here. When you have unweighting, then the vertical force decreases. So this arrow, the tip of the arrow comes down here, that you will have more inclination of the force arrow.
So parallel to the ground, waist high. That's where I need my maximum force downward in my right foot. Is that right? Is that the point
So
right
this is
there?
the backswing here. Yeah. about here you have a maximum force in the backswing.
Okay.
This has to go up more. That means you have to have a net push, with the trail leg. But if you just simply redistribute the weight, then the net will be very similar to your body weight. So you need to increase this more in the backswing. And
Yeah.
then this leg action should continue all the way to the end of the backswing here. So when you have good leg action and keep pushing, then you will be able to keep a more active backswing toward the end of the backswing here. So then you can improve the transition sequence. And also with the dead action toward the end of the backswing here, you can let the cleavage go a bit more. And on the way down, more importantly, on the way down, you can start the downswing motion with the body. So
All right, but
with
you don't want me. So on the transition on the downswing, you don't want my pelvis tilting towards the ground. You don't want it tilting. You want me to. We were saying I would have a problem with my pelvis tilting.
yeah, so because it's because your pelvis is moving backward. When the pelvis moves backward, automatically you will show more forward tilting.
Mm-hmm.
So if you
I
use
thought when
the
you unweight, you might when you unweight that you would tilt towards the ground, but that's not. You don't bend over in that direction. Like you don't
I
pelvis
so
forward.
if you imagine a triangular space here,
Okay.
if you draw a line here and then another line here, a triangular space,
Right.
you can move the pelvis more actively down here because it's wider.
Mm-hmm.
Up here is narrower, so the head cannot move laterally that much,
Mm-hmm.
but your pelvis can move a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, you can interact with the ground a lot more. Because in order to interact with the ground more, then your knee should show up, flexion and extension. So for that, your pelvis has to move more. If you don't, if your pelvis does not move, then it's hard to use your leg to push the ground. So the leg motion and the pelvis motion are all interconnected. So when you have active pelvis motion back and forth, and then with that we push the ground up and down, then you will see more flexion and extension of the knee. Yeah, so you have more motion in the knee joint here. So with that, you will develop a feel of up and down motion here, while you are maintaining still upper body, lean angle. You maintain this, but
Mm-hmm.
your pelvis is moving up and down. Particularly, your hips are moving up and down more, like this. So when you have really active leg actions pushing the
Mm-hmm.
ground, then the hips will be moving up and down quite a bit. And when the legs are supporting your body really well, then the support side will hip will not be able to move backward that much. So as a result, when you push actively, then every time you push the ground, then the pelvis will tend to move forward. And then during the unweighting, it will come back slightly. And then when you push on this side again, then the pelvis moves forward. So a pelvis has a forward backward motion, and it has a lateral tilt motion coming from the leg actions. So as long as you can promote the more active leg actions and by using stepping like action, then you will be able to change the dynamics quite a bit. And
Okay.
then now at this point, let me show you another pattern, okay?
Okay.
So that you can compare yours with this. This is Grant Wade. So
Okay.
he should be in his late 50s now, or mid 50s or late 50s now.
Okay.
So his age is not too far away from yours.
Yep.
And see how he's moving.
Okay.
So here you will see a more active interaction with the ground. So in his case, he's using a bit more time than yours. Yours was a bit less than 900 milliseconds, but he's using a bit more time. He has good cleavage speed here. And then if you look at the top view, the two planes are fairly well aligned here. So they show almost a parallel alignment here.
Mm-hmm.
And the swing plane, this is the swing plane here. And largely his pattern is similar to yours, but the only thing is that he has more off-plane motion here. So it follows the string plane initially and it goes above and then goes shallowing motion here. So particularly in this phase here, he is moving the club head quickly toward the string plane. And then here, pretty much the club head is already on the swing plane here. Good planar motion. And then the club head goes up here. And then his swing plane slope is similar to yours. Now go to pelvis motion here. In his case, this is, if you look at this red line here, his pelvis moves forward, backward, and forward again. So instead of going backward in your case, so this is probably the main difference that you see between yours and his. And then X factor, he has continuous increase in X factor and then reaches the peak value at the top of backswing and then it starts decreasing. It's similar to your pattern. Kinematic sequence. And then particularly if you look at the transition sequence here, so this is the beginning of the transition. This is when the pelvis, starts rotating in the downward direction, downswing direction. So from here to here, you will see that these are well separated. So good sequential transition. The pelvis, thorax, shoulders, the arms, and the club here. So a good sequential transition here. And then in his case, this is the wrist angular velocity. After the top of backswing here, so still it shows a cocking angular velocity in the wrist. And then this increases further down here. And then the uncocking starts about here. So the uncocking is delayed quite a bit here. And from there, the wrist angular velocity increases rapidly and then passes man's average here. The club head angular velocity also increases rapidly and then passes the man's average here. So the difference between yours and his is that here the full sequential transition in the transition and then this delayed onset of uncocking here. And then also if we look at the way he is interacting with the ground, so the reason why he's taking a bit more time in the backswing is because at the beginning of the backswing, he's taking a little bit of time here. But once the backswing motions starts, mainly, then from that point on, he has well-connected backswing to downswing. So now here, when the club is aligned horizontally here, he has good push here. Now this force is above the body weight quite a bit here. And he has a good push with the trail side. And then after that, from here to all the way to here, basically this is the unrating phase. So one thing you can see is that he has a continuous active unrating here. So he's dropping the ground rotation force quite a bit at this point when he's at the maximum unrating here. Okay, so this vertical force is a lot smaller. As a result, this force arrow inclines quite a bit toward the target here. And then still he has more force on the trail side here as the center pressure stays close to the trail side. So he has good push in the backswing about here. But this is maximum push from the trail side. And then this difference is not as much as yours, but still the net force is a lot bigger than yours here, because he has a net push of the ground. And then this is a maximum unrating. After that, good push here. So now the lead leg is pushing the ground quite a bit here at this point. So good trail side push, good lead side push. Between them, you have a good, he has a good unrating. So this is one big difference that you see. So as a result, if you look at the center of mass motion here, so this green line shows the center of mass motion, but as you can see, it moves away and then it goes higher in the vertical direction. and then it also drops more here, and then it goes higher again. So here it shows more up and down motion. And with that, in order to push the ground also well in the horizontal direction, in the lateral direction, then you must have good vertical interaction with the ground. So when you have a good vertical push here, with this you can also have a good horizontal push, lateral push. When you have good lead leg push here, you can also have good lateral push here. So this lead leg force is inclined quite a bit in the away direction here. So by pushing the ground down and outward laterally, you are mainly interacting with the ground. So one thing
I didn't. I didn't really have any pushing away with my left foot. Did I was more just up.
yeah, yeah. So one thing you may want to consider is now let's go back to yours here. So again, go to the frontal view here. One thing you may want to consider is widen your stance a little bit here. So when you have a bit wider stance, then it's easier to push the ground down and then laterally outward, both ways.
Okay.
Then also when this happens, when you use your legs actively, it may give you more stability because you have a wider stance.
Mhm.
So that's something you can try, and actually is something you can experiment. Okay, so when you have a bit wider stance, it's easier to push the ground down and laterally outward. But if it's too wide, then it limits the pelvis motion because if the force is too much inward here, then basically it's limiting the lateral motion of the pelvis. So it's not a good idea. So you need to find reasonable stance width with which you can push
Well,
the ground down and outward well. When
okay.
the forces generally act toward the center of the triangular space here, then these
Okay.
forces will confine your body motion within this space so you don't get outside
Yeah.
because the force is always
People try to widen my stance. Yeah. People try to widen my stance, and then I can't move. So, but maybe if I just maybe there's a little bit that I can do. They're just wider, and then I was just like, well,
yeah, too wide is
you know,
not good because
I
it
don't have.
automatically
It's
limits
not
your
some kind of
motion.
what's that?
When you have
What?
too wide a stance, then the force is inclined too much, so it just limits the pelvis motion. So it
Okay.
should be reasonably wide so that you can push the ground well down and outward, but it shouldn't
Okay.
be too wide.
Okay.
So those are the things probably you want to try, and then have a little bit of stepping like rhythm. So
Hmm.
instead of just shifting the body laterally, you have to have a more active leg action. So that means you have to bend the knee. So during the swing, so as you can see in this action here, when you do the backswing motion, you will see that you are pretty much just turning your body. In this process, again, I will keep running this back and forth here. In this motion, you're turning the body, but you don't really have the image of pushing the ground with your trail leg actively here, so that the trail leg becomes more extended here in the knee.
Right.
You're just going to this position here. But in this motion here, if you can push the ground with the right leg more by extending the trail knee, then this goes up, the hip goes up here. So you will be able to stand tall on your trail side here. This moves up because the knee is extended more. Then in near the top here, at this position, you will see that the right leg is more extended than the left. But if you intentionally try to completely extend the knee, then what happens is sometimes you move the hip backward too much. So you have to use the right knee actively, but it shouldn't be complete extension of the leg so that the hip goes this way too much, and then you tend to turn too much. So while still maintaining similar pelvis motion here, but try to extend the knee a bit more so that the hip can actually go up here. But this is the key here.
Okay.
So in order to have a more active backswing, then you have to use the trail leg well here. When the trail leg is well used, then on the way down, you can also use the lead leg well. But because during the backswing, you are pretty much just rotating here without good push from the trail side. And on the way down, you are also just simply turning.
Yep.
So the stepping is a good way to promote a good rhythmic active use of the legs.
Right.
So you will need to practice the step drills a lot. And since you are experienced golfer, you know what you're doing. So this may not be that difficult. So just practice this, and watch it, watch some of the videos. Today I had the web.com tour. I mean the Conferry Tour player, and he was also working on this aspect, activating the trail leg more in the backswing. So I will edit the video right after this, but and I will post his videos to YouTube. So watch those videos and then see how to activate the trail leg during the backswing. When you work on that aspect, then you will be able to see a more dynamic swing movement, mainly using the leg muscles. So lean forward and then drop your hands down, and then when you turn in the backward direction, when you turn, try to push the ground and extend your knee a bit more here. Yep. Yeah, that way you can use the trail leg more actively there. Let's do this. Stay away from the camera a bit more so that I can see your legs. Yep. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So there again, lean forward. And then as you turn, try to extend your knee more in the backswing. So still there, your right knee is fairly flexed here. You need to extend the right leg more. No, more.
More than really.
So let's do this. Before you push the right leg, before you push the ground with the right leg, bend the right leg a bit more, and then from there push the ground. So in other words, when you start the backswing motion, drop your right knee a little bit, and then from there push the ground. Yeah, that way you can amplify the effect.
And it's supposed to extend this much.
Yep, that's good. Yep. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. So with that, when you have an active leg action in the backswing, then automatically using that leg action, you can promote a good upper body turn.
Feels really stiff and restricted in here.
Yeah,
Really hard.
because your lower back is you know your lower back is a bit round here because I think it's because of your fusion surgery. But so so try to turn the pelvis a bit more by using active leg action. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So now do the same thing in the downswing direction to the lead leg, and
The
then
same.
drop the left knee a little bit, and then push. Yeah. Now repeat this back and forth. Repeat this back and forth rhythmically. Yep. Again, continuously. Yeah. Up and down. Have a good up and down motion. So try to emphasize more up and down motion of the hips. Still in the downswing, you tend to just spin. In the downswing, you just it tends to spin. Push the ground using the lead leg more in the downswing. So both ways, you're going slightly up and down. up and down, up and down. Yep, keep moving that way continuously. And then as you do, say this in the backswing, BJ, and then in the downswing, sing, BJ, sing, BJ, sing. Keep saying
Say
BJ,
what?
BJ, sing.
BJ sing. J sing. J sing. J sing.
Yeah.
BJ.
So VJ in VJ, J has accent. So VJ that in accent, you're pushing the ground hard with the trail leg. VJ.
BJ sing.
And then in the sing, in the downswing, sing also has an accent. That means when you say sing, you push the ground hard with the lead leg. So VJ sing, J sing.
J sing. J sing. J sing.
And then
Pushing this way.
yeah. So bring the lefty hip up.
J V J sing.
Yes. So in order to push the ground hard, you have to drop your body a little bit. So that gives a good unweighting. Kick, yes.
J sing.
Yep.
J sing.
So this is basically a dance. It's a rhythmic motion, up and down rhythmic motion. So repeat this continuously. Repeat this continuously. So instead of stopping at the end of the downswing, just to do it continuously back and forth.
J sing. J sing. J sing.
Continuously, yeah. Continuously. So kick left, kick right, kick left, kick right, left, right, left, right. Yeah. So that is the backbone. Okay. That is the backbone of this rhythmic motion. Now, widen your stance a little bit, a bit wider than you typically use, and then also do the same motion. Yeah. So you need to experiment on the width of the stance. Now, this time, when you rotate both ways, try to throw the hands as fast as possible, both ways. Throw the hands. No. You're not throwing the hands that well. Throw all the way. Throw all the way. Throw all the way here. In the backswing, when you go from backswing to downswing, instead of having the image of pulling the hands down, rather in the backswing, throw the hands as high as possible, all the way in the backswing. In the downswing, also you are throwing the hands up here. So have the image of throwing the hands both ways instead of pulling it down. Throw out laterally. Oh, No, in the backswing, you are not throwing the arms enough. You are not throwing hands enough in the backswing. Backswing, throw. Yes. And then also in the downswing, throw. Yep. That's the key here. So in order to throw the arms more actively in the backswing, you have to use the trail leg more actively. With that, when you throw the hands more actively, then automatically you are giving positive influence to the transition sequence. And in the backswing, try to extend your arms a bit more in the backswing. Throw all the way here instead of going here and then try to down here. Throw out all the way and then throw down the other way here. More actively in the backswing. More actively. Throw, throw, yeah. Throw, and from there, throw. Instead of stopping, still is a continuous motion.
Right.
Good. Throw, wait, and then throw at once. Throw, wait, and throw. So in the backswing, in the backswing, instead of worrying about your downswing, backswing is just the backswing. The goal in the backswing is creating this good wind up in the backswing. No need to worry about going quickly into downswing. So in the backswing, give enough backswing motion, good wind up and wait until this is completed, and then throw at once. So image a swing motion. When the swing comes up, you wait and then push it, right? Yeah, again, well, good extended arm position in the backswing, and then from there, throw at once. So as you throw, you should feel that all your blood is pushed toward the fingertip. When you swing the arm fast enough, then the blood will be pushed toward the fingers, so you can feel it. So that kind
When
of
I
speed.
try to extend my arms, it starts really pulling on my muscles and back. It's like I can go about like this. When I try to go further, it starts really hurting.
Yeah, so this is because you are not accustomed to this type of motion. Good, because you always use a certain way of moving the body, so your body is not accustomed to this motion. Yep. So with that action, this time you didn't push the ground enough in the backswing. So use a right leg more actively in the backswing. Yep, and then throw, throw. Yeah, yeah. That motion looks a lot more dynamic now. So try to practice that a lot, and then you can develop a good rhythmic motion as you repeat this. So it's all about rhythm. Golf swing, you have a throw, 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 rhythmic leg action, throw, throw, throw. Yep. Oh, that looks a lot better now. Yep.
Right.
So that's the key component of rhythmic motion. And then, so with that, if you keep practicing, and then you can use any device. You can use a kettlebell, and then swing back and forth, or you can use your club. You can use something heavier like an orange whip, or you can use something light. So using different devices, always try to practice that rhythm back and forth.
On moving of my arms and folding my arms up, and also the plane of my arms. I don't know. Sometimes my arms feel like they don't. Just wondering how to fold my arms up on the backswing.
Yeah, so use the momentum of the backswing, and then let it go a bit more. Yes, yes, that's good enough. That's good enough. Yes. So when you have an active backswing, automatically the downswing becomes active because you're preparing the body well in the backswing. So with that, you can have active backswing automatically. So no need to intentionally put a lot of effort in the downswing, but rather try to have more effort in the backswing. Good. Wind up from there, throw the club. Okay. Now, another aspect is judging from your body posture. Uh, During the downswing, your hands are coming a bit too close to your body. So from here, the hands are coming a bit too close to your body. So you need to move it a bit more out and then throw here. That means image that the ball is located farther away from your body. Even more. So extend a bit out a bit more. Yeah. Then you can use the full leverage. So remember, in your motion, you tend to move the pelvis backward, right?
Okay.
It could be because the ball is too close to your body.
So my pelvis wants to go this way, this way.
Your pelvis shifts to the target region,
This way.
but here. So what's happening is if the ball to your foot, that distance is a bit too short, then as the hands are coming down here, you have to make a space here. So then you tend to move your pelvis backward
This way.
to make a space here, right? But if you keep the ball more away from your body, then you have to reach out more. Then you don't have to move your pelvis backward. Rather, you have to more move forward to reach up. Bring the this. So this is another aspect you need to experiment. So keep the ball more away from your body. Keep the ball more away from your body, so that you can move the hands more away from your body.
And this would be normal. That's about 6 inches further right there.
Yeah. About there. The backswing became really short. So
Okay.
again, use the right leg actively in the backswing. Yep. In order to use the full leverage, you have to extend your arm quite well. And then also in the downswing, the hands shouldn't come too close to your body. When the hands come too close to the body, then you cannot use the full leverage. That transition a bit too quick. Use your right leg during the backswing so that the backswing is has a mature backswing here by using the right leg action. Push the ground with your right leg, and with that, turn enough here. Yep. It's getting closer. So again, move the ball away from your body. That one is not good. That was too quick. That was rushed.
Rushed on the transition.
Yeah. So from time to time, you have rushed the transition. Yeah, that timing is good. That's good. This time the right leg push was a bit less, so a bit more, push more. Yes. Yes, good timing. Yep. So when you and then as you do this, say Vijay Singh. Vijay Singh.
J, J, J.
No. You said VJ instead. VJ, VJ.
J, J, J.
Yeah. So when you have an exaggerated VJ, then you have a better timing.
Okay.
Okay. So keep practicing this.
J, 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 J.
And then also keep good accent to a sing. VJ sing.
J,
Yes.
J,
Yep.
J.
So when you have a good accent at sing, that means you're using the lead leg also better.
J, J,
Yep.
J, J.
So from now on, when you practice this here, you have a continuous swing back and forth, continuously, and developing good leg actions. And then use a rubber tee, use a rubber tee as your visual target. And as you swing, try to touch the tip of the rubber tee.
J, J.
That tee position is a bit too close to your body.
Still.
So you have to move it away from your body more. Still in the downswing, you are moving your hands too close to your body. So let it extend, let it extend out away from your body a bit more. So use the leverage, full leverage.
J, 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 J.
Now do the motion continuously back and forth. So without finishing the downswing and then starting all over again, just continue swing back and forth.
J,
From there, yeah, continuous.
J, 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 J.
So that's a good way to develop your leg actions and have the rhythmic, leg actions. So use the continuous motion a lot. With that, you will be able to find a good rhythm here. Once your body get used to do this, then you can use the rhythm automatically. So keep working on the rhythm a lot. And say VJ sing, VJ sing, VJ sing. So keep good accent. That means that you are swinging fast with the accent.
J, swing, J, swing, J, swing, J, swing, J, swing, J, swing.
In doing that, keep the stance a bit wider. Keep the stance a bit wider.
J, swing, J, swing, J, swing. If I get wider, really hard to move. I get too wide.
Because in the downswing, you tend to bring the right knee close to the left knee early. That's why you are
Uh-huh.
accustomed to that swing pattern. But
Okay.
okay, so you know,
Jay, sing. Jay, sing. Jay, sing.
and so from now on, practice this a lot, and then also always try to keep the ball a bit more away from your body.
Uh-huh.
And so you have to experiment on the position of the ball. So experiment on your stance and then experiment on your ball position in terms of distance from your body. And then keep working on the rhythm. And then do you have a chance to come this way, maybe in the near future?
Yeah.
Then next time, let's just do a reprogramming session. So since we know your swing characteristics well, so we can focus on the reprogramming aspect, and then we need to work on the rhythmic aspect a bit more.
Okay.
And then you have to be really increase your rhythm awareness. And then so when you particularly when you train in the gym, instead of a lot of isolated muscle training, try to use the whole body motion more, which always involves the rhythm. So try to work on more functional movements. Okay.
Okay.
How early can you come this way?
I mean, pretty soon. I mean, how much do I need to work on this before you think I need to come see you?
Um, if you purposefully work on this, then 2 weeks, 3 weeks will be okay. But actually, we will start the winter break early December, so I don't think this year will be possible. So maybe in February next year. So late January or early February, shoot for that timing, and then keep working on this and also watching the videos. And then when you are here next time, that will really work on the rhythm, and also we'll try the so-called two-step swing drills and things like that. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, it's just doing this online is quite restricting. So hard to
Yeah,
really.
but I think I have some work to do on this. So, I mean, I can't. I'm not even moving close to what I need to move. I mean, I need to at least to get to where I can move.
Yeah. So
Uh, and move and swing in a rhythm, but I can't move. It's very difficult for me to move up here and then swing in a rhythm because I'm feel restricted. So
do you have a lot of pain in the back, or just is it restricted?
friction more than pain, and I'm not sure if that's the way my pelvis is moving or
Uh,
not moving.
yeah, when you lose the mobility in the low back, then you have to move the rotate the pelvis a bit more by
Mm-hmm.
using the legs so that you can compensate the lost range of motion. But just using the continuous motion, using the momentum of the motion, you are developing dynamic motion, but that should be done within the range your body allows.
So, but in playing golf, do you have like a three-quarter swing? Let's say you want to hit a 6 iron instead you want to hit it 190, you want to hit it 175. I mean, you
So,
shorten the
so when you have a partial shots, again, still the rhythm is similar, but you are just changing the level of rigor. So,
level of what?
rigor. So, in other words, how much effort you put there.
So
So,
you're
but
going to like the full swing, but at just slower speed.
or yeah, yeah. So, but still, the overall rhythm is very similar. You don't
The,
rush. Okay?
but what about the range of the motion? Does the range of the motion
The
get
the
short?
range. So basically, you can control it with the range of motion.
Okay.
So when you have partial shots, then you don't make as big a backswing. Okay? But so still, the overall flow should be very similar. Um, we talked about this today with the Corn Ferry Tour player. So when I posted the videos, take a look at the videos and the idea. He was practicing 110 yard, wedge shots, and then we were mainly focusing on the rhythm and then maintaining a good rhythm in the shot. So yeah,
Was he taking so it's a short, but a shorter turn, shorter arm swing?
yeah. So you can change the size of the backswing, but in terms of the rhythm, it's just very similar. So you have a still good leg-driven rhythm, okay, even in the wedge shots, and you have a good backswing, and then have enough time here, okay, mature backswing, and then come down to hit the ball
Still straightening,
instead of
still
rushing.
for the right leg, still a straightening, just not as far.
Yeah.
Does this straighten less or the same?
You can still use a similar, but basically, if you have the intention to have a bit slower motion, then automatically the size of backswing will decrease, and then the level of push also will decrease.
Okay.
So all you do is just to have
Everything.
overall good rhythmic motion, the image of good rhythmic motion. Then depending on the distance, your body motion will change reasonably.
Okay.
Yep. So
And what
uh,
about just chipping?
tripping is a different swing because we are talking about the really short distance,
Huh?
and you can do different things. But still, even in tripping, it's important to have a body-driven rhythm. I've seen this in the golf schools when I worked with the amateur golfers. When they had a good rhythm, they were hitting the ball a lot better.
Mhm.
So it's all a matter of the overall flow of motion here, and then the motion should be basically driven by leg actions here, and
So you're
then drop and then hit back here and then drop. So you have a overall similar way of developing the motion. Are you there?
yeah.
It seems
Yes.
probably on your side.
Yeah, I'm up in a room pretty far from my Wi-Fi. So
Okay. Yeah. So keep working on this and then send me the video, showing the progress. And let's try to get together again, perhaps maybe in February, late January or early February. So work on this rhythmic aspect more. And then next time you can also work with the rope. So we'll have some time for the rope swing. So next time when
yeah,
you come, we can use
yeah.
the rope and then the orange whip and then the whoosh stick. So we can use different devices and then promote your rhythmic motion. Okay. So give some time in the diligently work on the practice. And then I'll hopefully see you maybe late January or early February.
Okay.
Yep. So what I'll do is I will post this video.
Okay.
So
Do I schedule that on your website?
yeah,
And I'm not sure if I pay.
you have not, I think.
Okay, and I'm not sure if I paid or how I pay you. Did I pay? I don't remember. You know, make
No,
sure that
no.
happens. How do I do
Last
that?
last time you have not. So I'll send you once I post the
Okay.
video, I'll send you an email with the link to the video, and also I'll give you the instructions.
Okay.
Yep. So keep working on
Okay.
it.
And then how? So where do I see those? Okay.
Yeah, I'll send you the
All
link.
right.
So yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
yeah. Okay.
All right. And as far as scheduling, I just schedule it on your website, something, January, February, as
Yeah.
far as the training.
Yeah. So again, I'll send you the
Okay.
link to the webpage. So, alrighty. So nice to meeting you virtually.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mhm. Bye.